What is good, Boom Bap Nation? It's the Historian back for an album review, and this is a production album. So this production team is out of, I believe it's Toronto, Canada, if I have it correctly. Um, Probably should double check that, but we're gonna roll with that. And if I'm wrong, then I will eat crow on that and make that adjustment. Give me 1 second because I'm not sure where this album went. There it is. All right. So for those that don't know, Real Wolf is a production a group. They are really, really big in your underground, hip hop, boom bap. Um, in particular, they generally do a lot of work with. They'll do work with you know artists that are more well known, but they'll also do a lot of work with a lot of your independent hip hop artists as well. Um, they've put out some really, really fantastic albums over the years, such as 2017 Cinema. Prior to that, The Underworld, Blood Moon was a really dope project. Rabid Violence, The Witching Hour. Last year they released Wolfpack, and here they are in 2026 with Vicious Cycle. So this is an album that I picked up on iTunes just recently. This album came out on July 7th, 2026. It's 13 songs, 34 minutes. But like I said, I just recently got it maybe like a week ago. Had an opportunity to already listen to it. And this is gonna be my review slash my thoughts over this product or this album. As far as production, what you really get is you kind of get that cinematic dark, very similar. And I'm not making the comparison, so let's just chill. But very similar to like a Snow Goons. That's kind of where I would say Real Wolf and Snow Goons are very, very similar in the production style. It's that boom bap driven hip hop East Coast style. But again, they work with a large amount or I should say, a large amount of plethora of MCs. And this one's no different. There are some MCs that do appear on here more than a few times. But nonetheless, there's also some vets, some vets that go back to the '90s, and and again, that's why I say they're very similar to Snow Goons. They'll do the same thing, working with groups like Flatliners and Onyx, things of that nature. So, Vicious Cycle, Real Wolf. Let's get into it. So it starts off with a vicious and ambitious intro, and then from there, track two. They'd have Evil Deeds featuring as the aforementioned the Flatliners. Track three, Protoplasm features Solomon Childs, Mercenary, and Swan. Um, Track four is really dope. Embalming Fluid featuring Blizz from Juice and Kid Fade. Five is Body Horror featuring Donnie Menace and Resnick. Six is Impending Doom featuring Resin Swan and Tanya G. Seven is Book of Revelation featuring Donnie Menace, Sabak Red, Mercenary, and the aforementioned Snow Goons. Eight is Syndustry featuring the Flatliners and Sodom and Gomorrah. Track 9 is Surgical featuring Resin, DOV, Scene B, Shallow Pockets, Mercenary, and Swan. Asesnos, probably messed up that, features DOV, Joe Fatal, and DJ 420. Headbanger features is track 11, features Ayo Biggs, West Nile, Danny Diablo, and Tony Slippas. The previous track is Cessnos. That's one of my favorite tracks on the album as well. That was track 10. 12 is Tombstones featuring the Flatliners, Swan, Resin, Mercenary, Mike Guts, and Kid Fade. And then it finishes with uh, Psycho, Psycho, Psycholo. I but yeah, that was fucking horrible. My interpretation of how to pronounce that is fucking not even subpar. It's fucking horrible. But Protoplasm is the only track that I can remember that I have in my notes that had some cuts on it. So, but yeah. So overall, um, uh, it's been a while since I heard a Real Wolf project, so I can't really compare it. I obviously the Underworld was one that came out I think 2016. Um, it was a really, really dope project, but I think this is a solid project nonetheless. I mean, I I think it has some really dope MCs. Of course, Flatliners, Blizz. Donnie Menace is someone that I've listened to. Sapak Red. And of course, some of the lesser known MCs, you could say, Scene B, Shallow Pockets, Mercenary, and so forth. So I thought it was, I thought production wise, I probably enjoyed the production more than some of the MCing on here. But overall, I think it's a solid album. 13 tracks, 34 minutes. You can listen to it while you're just cruising around. I think it's solid. I'm not able to compare it to the other projects because it's been a while since I've heard the other projects. But yeah, Real Wolf, I definitely would recommend this though. If you're, like I said, you're a fan of hip hop, you like that East Coast sound, that kind of, I don't want to quite go on the horrorcore, but it has a little more darker edge. Than some of the other production you might see from a boom bap hip hop style. Like I said, they're very very similar to like a Snow Goons. That's you could say they're similar to Snow Goons. Snow Goons is similar to Real Wolf. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I thought this is overall a solid project. So Real Wolf, Vicious Cycle. My overall rating for this album is 3 mics. So I think it's a solid rating. It's a solid album. It's one that I'll probably go back to and listen to at some point. I don't think it's going to go up a half a mic or a mic, but it's definitely one that I would probably go back into and maybe it's deserving of going on a half a mic. We'll see, but. Yeah, I highly recommend you check out Vicious Cycle, Real Wolf, released on July 7th. 3 mics is what I give it. Other than that, stay tuned. Album reviews coming your way.